Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, happy Tuesday. So tonight I want to try and cook this Mexican dish called Fideo. I was surfing YouTube and I saw this lady making Fideo. And what Fideo is, if I'm saying it correctly, if not, I'm just going to give you guys a brief description as to what it is. But it's like a hamburger soup. And in the hamburger soup, the Fideo may be the type of noodle, I'm not sure, like a Mexican noodle, but nonetheless, what's in this soup is hamburger, ground hamburger, potatoes. All right, guys, so I am finally home. Hopefully I don't get any distractions because it seemed like my phone was going off when I got off from work. It was just like constantly going off. But I'm getting ready to do the Fideo. So I just came home, showered, just relaxed a little bit. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So here's the ingredients that's in it. Okay, so of course we're gonna have the ground beef. I'm trying to decipher if I should use 2 trays of this or 1. I think I'm just gonna do 2. It's a pound of ground beef, because this pot is not that, it's not large and it's not small either. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna do 1 pack or 2 packs. But I got the 80 lean, 20 fat for the ground beef. So we're gonna put potatoes in it. These are russet potatoes. I cut up 2 of them. I love potatoes, but I did cut up 2. I couldn't find a varicella noodle, so I got angel hair. That was the closest thing to it because they're super thin. I got some refried beans because the young lady said you put this on the side of the soup and you eat this along with the soup. I got peppercorn. It calls for peppercorn. I got some ground cumin and a can of crushed tomatoes. So here's the pepper that I'm gonna put in the pot. I got my little bouillons, my chicken bouillons, and green pepper, onion, green onions, and I cut up some garlic, some fresh garlic. And that's pretty much it. I was thinking to do some chili powder because she said to do the tomato bouillons, but I only have the chicken ones and I wasn't about to search for some tomato ones. So I may either just put a little chili powder in it, just to give it that tomato chili, type of flavor. So we're gonna get started. Okay guys, so I found a few seasonings that I'm going to add to it myself, which is going to be this paprika. I'm going to add this. I'm also going to add this crushed red pepper, just a little bit, not a whole lot. And I'm also going to add some dark chili powder. Okay, so the hamburger is cooking. I'm just going to break it up. The recipe does call for some salt, to add some salt, but I'm not going to do a lot of salt. Just break that up a little bit. Oh, it's browning really good. Just cook. All right, so here's my hamburger. I drained the grease from it. So now I'm going to add my onions. Okay guys, so I added my onions, my white onions and my green onions. Look like I got a pepper in there too, but it's okay. So I added my white onions, my green onions. Amani says hi.
We haven't seen you in a really long time.
So I am just mixing this up. I'm gonna let this cook in a little bit.
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
And I noticed the young lady, she boiled some water, poured boiled water into the young lady. She boiled some water and she poured the hot water inside the meat. So I'm gonna boil some water in that pot. This little container, I have the peppercorn. I try to grind it down. Hold on, Monty. Yeah, trying to grind it down. And I have cumin. So I'm gonna put some water in this and stir it. Yeah.
Why does it look like?
Because it's just.
Why does it look like cookies crumbled up in with chocolate chips?
Oh, it looks like cookie with chocolate chips. Here's the hamburger, the onions, and the peppers all mixed in. It's cooking. The onions have cooked down a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is add this pepper. I'm not going to cut it up. I'm going to leave it in there whole. I got the pepper in there. Let that cook. Kind of put it to the bottom. Pepper. Meanwhile, I'm going to add some water to this seasoning. So here's the cumin and the peppercorn. Stir it up.
Are you cooking spaghetti?
Who, me? So I went ahead and added the green peppers. And now I'm going to go ahead and pour the seasoning in. Which is the peppercorn and the cumin. I'm just going to pour that down there. Exactly how she did it on the video.
Mine.
I turned the stove up to medium heat. So I'm just going to let that cook a little bit. Got the pepper in there. So I'm going to add my garlic in a minute. So I've added the garlic, as you can see. And it's simmering. Just going to mix it in. And now at this point, I'm going to probably for like a couple of minutes let that garlic get in there. And then I'm going to, I have a can of crushed tomatoes. I'm going to put that in there. Cook for like a couple of minutes. Turn the stove up to medium. So the heat is medium heat. Okay, those are crushed tomatoes. So I'm about to mix this in. You can kind of see they're crushed tomatoes. Not a sauce, but crushed. Kind of looks like a sauce. Okay, I have poured my water in here. So it looks like a soup. That's what we're going for. It's a Mexican soup. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of chili pepper powder. Chili powder. And some paprika for more color. Just a dab. Not a lot. Because the tomatoes have already seemed to make it the color that I wanted. That's your dash of hot pepper. I'm just going to mix. So I'm going to let this cook for about 15 minutes. I'm going to put a lid over it. So I'll let this cook for about 15 minutes. Okay, so it's boiling. It hasn't been 15 minutes yet, but what I'm gonna do is, while it's boiling, I'm gonna take my bouillons, drop them in there, put 3 in there. I'm not even gonna stir it. So just let that cook for, I have it on medium heat. And let that cook over here. I have some canola oil in the pan. I'm gonna turn the pan on, and this is where I'm gonna take the angel hair, and I'm gonna heat the pasta in this pan. I'm gonna break it into 4s, and I'm gonna heat it over here on this part of the stove, this eye. So I'm just waiting for this to heat up a bit. So that is boiling nicely. Now here's my angel hair pasta. The pan is pretty hot, so I'm just gonna put those in there. Let it just get a little toasty. That was the advisement. Okay, so the noodles are quite toasty. Have them all toasty there. Kind of a little bit toasty than I wanted them to be on a certain side. But the heat is off. They're resting. Then the soup is cooking. It looks great. I'm about to turn it down, and I'm about to add the potatoes. So I turned the stove down to about 4. This pepper. I'm so tempted to taste it, but I'm not going to do it. Because I stayed on that, but I made work down to do it. So it looks like all of the peppers, everything has cooked down a bit. So now I'm going to add the potatoes. That's so yummy. I think I'm gonna put this phone down while I'm doing this so it won't splash on me. So I've added the potatoes. So I'm gonna let this cook for about a few minutes, and then I'm gonna add the noodles. Ooh, it looks so good. The potatoes aren't even done. There's pepper in here. I'm sure it's probably a little spicy because of that pepper. Okay, so I'm heating up these refried beans because, as I stated, it's supposed to be served with this. I've never heated up refried beans before, but I'm gonna just kind of let them warm, and I stir them occasionally. So that's warm, and I kind of want to cook some cornbread with this, but I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so I added the noodles. Just wait for the noodles to get done in it. So I'm gonna put the lid back up here. Let this finish. And I did taste the broth, so it's perfect. I don't even need to put any salt on it. I can kind of taste the seasoning from the pepper, so it's not as hot. Just right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid up here, let it cook for about another 15 minutes, maybe shorter than that, just depending on how fast these noodles cook in. That'll be it. You just get the noodles off the spatula. And finish putting those in there. Even though it got a little color to it, I'll still put it in there. So it is still cooking, guys, just so you know. But this is what it's looking like so far. Nice and soupy. Refried beans over here. All right, guys, so this is the final product. Looks good. Kind of looks like some spaghetti, but it is Mexican soup. I'm about to put some in a bowl. The pepper over there laying in the corner. You see the potatoes in it, the hamburger meat, all of the peppers. It really looks like some soupy spaghetti, but you see the potatoes in it. And break it all up. There's a little pepper. All right. All right, so here's my bowl. I have my refried beans on the side. She said this is how you're supposed to eat it. She has tortillas with hers, but I didn't get any of that. Like I said, I wish I would have made some cornbread, but this is it. Good morning. So I just wanted to give you guys a review on that soup that I made last night. It was so good. I did not put any cilantro in it because I don't like cilantro. And one thing that I did forget, I forgot to put the celery in it. So, but it was still good. So I just wanted to let you guys know that it came out really great. I actually brought some along for lunch today. There's plenty left in the pot, so I don't have to cook a few days. So I just wanted to let you guys know. Give it a try.